Here's a FADA AA5 tube radio from 1949. I believe this is the model 855, and I've already done a little tinkering with this thing and found out that, you know, when you plug it in, it wasn't getting any power, and you know, as demonstrated on other videos that I've done, you know, this 12BE6 had an open tube filament. I've done videos of several radios with open tube filaments, so didn't really see the need to record tracing that down. You know, if you ever have any questions about open tube filaments, especially on these AA5 radios with these 12BE6, BA6, 12AT6, 35W4, and either 50B5 like this one's got, or a 50C5. The tube filaments are on pin 3 and 4 of the tube, so you would just count clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll give you pin 3 and 4, which are these two here. So you just ohm those out, and if you have an open circuit, you have an open tube filament. So you found your bad tube. So anyway, let's plug it up and see what happens. Well, we have our normal filter cap hum. That's all too familiar on these AA5 radios. Looks like we do have dial light. This set does have a dial light, even though it doesn't illuminate the numbers. It does have dial illumination down here through this slit. So let's pull the back off of it and see what we got to work with. Okay, and here's the chassis here. Just a little simple 5-tube AM radio, AA5 radio. This one almost looks identical to that Motorola that we worked on in the previous video, right there. And even the underside of the chassis reminds me of that radio. We got our pretty much all original capacitors in here. I don't think this one's ever been touched. That's kind of a rarity these days. Let's see if we can tip it over there, make it a little easier to show it. Have our original electrolytic filter capacitor here, which is obviously bad and will need to be replaced. So we'll probably need to go ahead and replace all the other capacitors while we're in here. This looks like this will probably be hopefully a fairly routine fix. Okay, we got all of our capacitors replaced, including our wax paper capacitors, and our have all of our filter caps. This one here, that one there, and all the other ones. All of those are replaced, so let's do the smoke test, plug it in, and see what happens. That's a lot quieter than it was. And we have sound.
say the best things in life are free. So why are we paying so much for our basic information?
A little bit of storms in the area, so I'm probably picking up some crackling, some lightning from the weather. Not much on the band tonight.
Will help you ask the right questions and find the right place. Call a place for mom today. She said, baby, there's your love and make it better.
Creamy fruit. 9 flavors, 6 toppings, served from a robot.
Okay, I want to check the tubes before I put the radio back in the cabinet. So, checking the 35W4 rectifier tube. Oh yeah, 80%, plenty good there. And checking the 50B5 audio output tube. That's just barely in the green there. So if I got a stronger one laying around here, I may try that. Just about 56, 58%, just slowly going to about 58. Okay, I had a spare 50B5 in my stash, and it checked a lot stronger, about over 80%, so I think we'll go with that one. And checking the 12 AT6 first audio tube, about 62%. The air conditioner shut off, so it made it jump up a little bit. About 62%. And checking the 12 BA6. About 68%. Not too bad, it's a replacement tube. And this is a 12 BE6 that I replaced earlier. It's about 68%, so that's fine. And last thing I wanted to note was I went to go tune this thing by ear, which I'm gonna get out the signal generator and do a proper alignment on it. I went to go do a tune it by ear with these cans here to try to get it close. And this slug here, I couldn't turn it. As you can see, that slotted part is sort of rounded off. And I tried to stick a screwdriver through the can of the IF transformer to adjust that slug. I couldn't get it to move, and my suspicion were that somebody had, got the golden screwdriver out and tried to tune it, and got that slug stuck, and that's exactly what they did. When I took this can off, this slug was bottomed out all the way down, so with the can off I could get a decent sized screwdriver in there, a big one, and then get in there and turn it. And I turned it up, and the reception has picked way up now. So I think the best thing to do at this point is to try to do a proper alignment on it with the signal generator, and then go from there. Okay, we have our signal generator tuned to 456 kilocycle. This one's not 455, it's 456. So we're supposed to tune L1 through 4 for maximum. And I had it pretty close. try to get up under the bottom here. I don't know if I can do that without and hold the camera at the same time or not. And we got to switch screwdrivers. Well, let's recap over what I had to do. I had to replace the 12 BE6, first IF and oscillator tube, and then I had to replace the filter capacitor and all the other wax paper capacitors. I replaced those. One thing I didn't note in the video when I had the chassis out was that I had to replace one of the across the line caps. I replaced it with a safety capacitor, so don't have to worry about it failing, you know, shorted. They're designed to fail open if they do fail. And you know, again, all the capacitors. Then I had to clean the controls, which I did clean the controls. I didn't show that on camera. And also clean the tuning capacitor. And I did replace the audio output tube, the 50B5, with a better tube. And that's about it. All the other tubes checked pretty good. All the resistors checked within tolerance. They were acceptable, within the acceptable level. I usually do 20% as a general rule. If they fall outside of 20% of their given ohms rating, I usually just replace them. So anyway, we're back together and playing, and I guess that's going to be it for this radio.
This is the former U.S. comptroller.
Playing again after years and years. Probably will play for another good long time. Thanks for watching.
From Wisconsin, he did so many